respiratory problem. Now the 5AA forecast, cloudy overnight, mostly sunny for the day today, a top of 26 expected. Friday partly cloudy and 24, partly cloudy on Saturday, also 24, then mostly sunny for Sunday, a top of 26. More news as it happens on 5AA.
1395, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Peter Godfrey.
Good morning, 5:09. Oh, where's the hour gone already? 16 degrees at the moment. Let's take a look at what's happening across the ditch. Selwyn Manning, editor of EveningReport.nz. Selwyn, how are you this morning?
Yeah, very good, Peter. The sun's starting to shine from behind those miserable clouds, and looks like we're heading for the dizzy heights of 19 degrees today in Auckland.
Okay. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Stepping up a little bit. We had a very good weekend. Even got a glimpse of what it must be like for you guys. I mean, we were over the 20s mark. So.
Yeah. There we go. Well, it's all good over this side of the ditch, I got to tell you, because...
Come on, Aussie, come on, come on. Come on, Aussie, come on, come on. Come on, Aussie, come on, come on. Come on, Aussie, come on.
We're going to talk about that a bit later.
You'll have all of us Kiwis tapping along to that soon, Peter, with that cricket that you guys are playing.
Yeah, indeed. We'll talk about that a bit later. I thought, well, we have to play that. So we did play the haka for the All Blacks the other week. So
absolutely, yeah. Oh boy, the cricket. We can certainly get into that as part two.
Yeah, we will indeed. But fairly serious issue for you guys. We've spoken about this fella before. You're the mayor of Auckland, controversial mayor, Len Brown. You want to give us a background on him? He's got a bit of a shady past, and that's sort of all come to a head now.
Yeah, it has. It's come to a head. Len Brown, he indicated this week, or early this week, that he will not be standing for the 2016 mayoral elections, Peter. Now, Brown, he was relegated basically to lame duck status as a politician only days after winning that 2013 mayoralty. Only days after, and it was due to information being released about him having an affair with a woman half his age, and that woman, it came to pass, was connected to his political opponent. The New Zealand Herald, it published an amazing, it's a shocking kind of cartoon there, relating to this earlier this week by Emerson, the cartoonist, and for Kiwis that know the scene over here, it's right on the money. Basically, it has Len Brown out for the count, lying down on the ground to his left. He's got whale oil, which is Cam Slater, sitting there thinking, whew. We certainly did the job there. He was the blog where some allegations that I'll mention in a minute were published. Then it's got a guy called Luigi Wewege, which I'll mention again later. He's sitting there. He was the campaign strategist for Len Brown's opponent, the mayor, and then on his back has got a monkey. Like in the Hangover movie, the monkey in the Hangover movie, and it's sitting on his back. And what it's obviously indicating is like that lame duck thing. This issue has been a monkey on Len Brown's back since he won the last election. Now, what it was about is immediately after the election, a woman called Bevan Chuan, she agreed to have a very detailed affidavit published on the Ruthless Whale Oil blog site. Whale Oil is edited by Cam Slater, and he's the son of a former National Party president. Now, the affidavit, it detailed how the mayor had had sex with her during working hours while he was mayor in his first term as mayor. It detailed how they had used the mayoral chambers as a place for the mayor's sexual liaisons, included the sacred Ngāti Whātua room, and that's a real no-no. Len Brown had huge support from the local iwi or tribe, which is Ngāti Whātua. It also detailed how rooms in hotels around the city were used, including rooms allegedly gifted by Sky City Casino, etc. The affidavit, Peter, it was so explicit. It alleged the mayor's particular sexual likes, put it that way, frequencies, allegations of phone sex, gifts. It obviously touched on the privilege of office, all of these types of things. Now, the allegations, they were not denied by the mayor. He refused to get into that and refused to resign. He believed at the time that if he started to deny particular points, then he was drawn right into a yes-no type situation to the various points in this detailed affidavit. Now, it was obviously the kind of document, the kind of allegation, the kind of issue that was going to destroy the man politically, and the pressure was on Peter in the first week, basically, after this, for the man to resign. He didn't. He refused. He stayed on. And it's fair to say that, like the cartoonist in the New Zealand Herald, the wonderful Mr. Emerson, he has portrayed it perfectly, that Len Brown has had this issue as a monkey on his back right through this whole political term. It's been a serious one too, in that the Labour Party, it aided Len Brown, Peter, of two successful mayoral campaigns.
Yeah.
It distanced itself from him fairly quickly, and for obvious reasons. And also, the council was so divided at one stage that I can say that the government, the central government, the national-led government here in New Zealand, considered putting a commissioner in to actually run Auckland City at one point.
Okay, so
it's been a terrible term in the sense that Auckland is the economic engine room of New Zealand, and many believe that progress toward reaching a potential in that term has been stifled because of this whole affair. So Len Brown, he's put his he officially welcomed the All Blacks back to Auckland a little over a week ago. At Victoria Park near the centre of Auckland City there. When he went on stage to welcome them officially, the crowd, which was estimated around 35,000, a significant proportion of those people there booed him.
And that got the message finally to him.
Yeah, it was almost like he stood back, sniffed the air, and realised that those glory days gone. That is lame duck mayoralty, and the way I assess that is lame duck mayoralty morphed into a political overstayer status. So that's the end of Len Brown. And it's a kind of in a way, it's a sad ending for anybody that has assumed the responsibilities of public office.
Yeah, indeed.
To fall to some of those frailties. They obviously, the human personalities and their frailties lead themselves into. And then the man was a bit of a champion for South Auckland, and it was always believed that South Auckland, being perhaps less privileged than some of the central Auckland and North Shore suburbs, would never really have a shot at leadership of the city and the super city structure here. And so Len Brown was the man. He went right through from being a humble councillor. In a sense, he represented very effectively the county's Manukau Health Council at a stage where it was set up when the Nationals in the 1990s disestablished public exposure of the public health system and created a commercial model out of our public health system. And Len Brown was very effective in raising issues of public interest there. He became the mayor after a couple of shots at the mayor of Manukau City. And when the amalgamation occurred for Auckland to become a giant city, he successfully became the first mayor of that. His first term in office was very visionary. His second term in office, the public seemed to really support him to get that vision up and running. And that was over transport, which is a pretty bad situation. We spoke last week about Auckland having frailties in its town planning and things. Transport is primary amongst those, and Len Brown's vision was very much tagged to that, relating to transport. So the second term, people got right behind him, voted him in, thinking, that vision can be turned into some real gains on the ground and make the city actually function better in all ways. And bang, this hit. And the standing back from the whole thing, Peter, it almost looked like the mayor had been played. His political opponents, as I mentioned in the first part of this bulletin, Bevan Chuan was also involved in a kind of a relationship with the political strategist, apolitical strategist, attached to a mayoral campaign by a Mr. Polino, who was the more right-positioned opponent to Len Brown's centre-left position. And it just smacked of really nasty politics there that Len Brown walked right into for quite a long time.
Interesting sort of just the comparison with that situation there for you, and then the situation here with one of our state MPs who's this week been found guilty on child pornography charges, and there's a bit of a standoff there with him not wanting to step down and despite calls from the Premier and pretty much everyone else. So kind of, a different circumstance, but still a sordid sort of, background to it.
I've got to say, obviously with Len Brown, the Mayor of Auckland, there wasn't any allegation of criminality.
No, okay, no.
Just,
it was just
to tidy that element of it up. But certainly, there was accusations of immoral practice, and Len Brown apologised for that. But life is not a confessional, is it? You can't go in and then...
Well, indeed, no, especially in a public role like that. Indeed.
Yes, exactly.
Indeed.
And, certainly, it kind of makes you scratch your head sometimes that, just is it a vulnerability in our politicians that can, in some circumstances, actually draw them into, problems like this, or
just a
is it the power of office?
Yeah, well, who knows? They're bigger questions for somebody else to answer, I think, Selwyn. Gosh,
at this time of the morning.
Yeah, indeed. All right, so we'll have a quick break, and then I think we might have to talk about that other game that's going pretty well.
Put that off, Peter.
Be right back with you, Selwyn. Selwyn Manning with us, editor of EveningReport.nz.
If you have a problem tree, call Russell Ellis at Sturt Stump Cutters. His 35 years experience and his friendly qualified team of arborists can tackle any tree pruning, tree removal, stump grinding or travel tower hire jobs, big or small. If you live in the east, the west or southern areas, if you own a golf course or a courtyard home, call Russell for advice and a free quote on 0418 823 733 or visit sturtstumpcutters.com.au.
Every week at Spine Care Chiropractic, new people come into our practices feeling crappy and find out that they don't have to. Don't let those annoying aches and pains turn you into Mr. Grumpy or Mrs. Cranky Pants. Come into Spine Care Chiropractic for a free spinal check. Meet our chiropractors and find out how we can help you find the optimum you. Drop into one of our Spine Care Chiropractic locations, Golden Grove, Melrose Park, Prospect and Salisbury, or Google Spine Care Chiropractic.
Right now, there's an urgent need for foster carers in your community. Life Without Barriers is seeking compassionate, nurturing people to become foster carers. You can be single or living with a partner, with or without your own children. We offer excellent training, 24/7 support, and tax-free financial reimbursement. Welcome a child into your family and your life. Become a foster carer with Life Without Barriers. Call us on 8415 6900 or visit lwb.org.au.
Here we are in November already, and it's time to talk lawns and what to do to keep them looking good.
5AA's handy around the garden, thanks to Stratco.
As always, I've got Chris Lean at Stratco's Gardening Ambassador. Let's go through some quick tips. Chris, you go first.
OK, Michael. As it gets hotter, it's a good idea to apply a wetting agent for better water penetration.
Mow regularly, but don't cut the lawn too short. That encourages weeds and can stress the lawn in hot weather.
For best results, mower blades need to be kept sharp and replaced regularly when they get worn down.
And finally, when it comes to weeds, spot spray or use one of the hose-on weeders. Just be sure to choose the right one for your grass type. If in doubt, ask for advice if you're not sure.
And if you follow these few tips, you should have the perfect lawn for your Christmas Day backyard cricket match.
For more tips, visit Michael's page at 5AA.com.au. For Stratco, making life better in your garden.
From a new bathroom to a quick repair, from leaky taps in the kitchen to a blocked backyard drain, give Ken a call. We're here for the long term, to do things properly, one job at a time. Each time you need us, whether for a new build, renovation or everyday plumbing job, working for you is the most important work we do each day. Give Ken a call. Ken Hall Plumbers, 8364 5855.
Peter Godfrey, talking Adelaide on 1395 5AA.
And we're taking a look across the ditch, in fact, at the moment with Selwyn Manning, editor of EveningReport.nz. Things in New Zealand. Now, Selwyn, where did the Black Caps go wrong with the first test up at the Gabba in front of a fairly poor crowd, apparently? But
yeah,
I don't know that was a factor, but didn't go well. With 204 runs, the Aussies trounced you by?
Yeah,
Somewhere
that's
there?
right. It's an
Somewhere
absolute thrashing, isn't it, Peter? It's the kind of thing that, oh boy, the New Zealanders, they had to take it on the chin. The captain, Brendan McCullum, there was a controversial decision about when he was ruled out by the umpire, and he said, no, we were outplayed. Australia deserved the win entirely, and you've got to take these things on the chin, get up and prepare for the next one and work out how you may be able to win. Now, clearly, over this side of the ditch, people have fast realised that, there's an inequality there, particularly at the Gabba, perhaps. There's a lot of hope that at the WACA coming up starts tomorrow, doesn't it?
Friday, yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that things will be slightly different. It's for a start, it's a blank score sheet.
Mm.
But,
that helps.
David Warner, your star batter there, obviously in top form. He's got the attitude, the Kiwis tried to take this coy kind of, we're the polite ones of the world cricket scene type of approach, and trying to make Warner look like he was too ruthless. But that's his game, and look, to be honest with you, it's fantastic to watch. To see any athletes actually in the prime there. Now, the Kiwis, through the New Zealand Herald, reading through their coverage of the cricket, you get a feeling how the Kiwi team is looking at Warner and also your Smith, the two in form batters here, and looking at how can the Kiwis just arrest their rise there, to destabilise the Australian batting line-up in the first instance, they see as the key to the game. But of course, it's a test over 5 days, unless someone's batted right out. The Kiwi team has got to be man for man, obviously the equal of Australia here. Now that's the thing. When we're over in the UK, the Kiwis had a good win over there against them. They're like you guys, then a major loss to the English. And with Australia having a similar kind of pattern over in England, I think back here in New Zealand we're thinking, well, maybe we're in for a shot here. But it wasn't to be. New Zealand Herald did a thing here, just before we look at the positives of it quickly, is that they put out an article saying that what are the most one-sided New Zealand versus Australia test matches of all time. Now, they're putting this loss to Australia right up there as one of the big ones. Obviously, that the New Zealanders lost 208 runs to Australia at the Gabba. And then they say, but the worst they're saying was in 1993 in Hobart, Australia win by an innings and 222 runs. That was in the days when, remember, David Boone and Mark Moore and those guys? Yeah. Household names everywhere you go. Shane Warne, etc. And New Zealand had a batter there, Kenny Rutherford. At the time, Danny Morrison was in our bowling thing. So that was the worst loss, apparently. In 1974, Peter, in Auckland, Australia win by 297 runs. It's not like New Zealanders are immune to this type of thing when you read through the history books. 1986, Brisbane, New Zealand win by an innings and 41 runs, and that was the famous Gabba test. We hold on to that win, Peter. And then 2004, at the fourth worst in Brisbane, again, Australia win by an innings and 156 runs. And in 1990, Wellington, New Zealand win by 9 wickets.
You're making it sound like we're a shoe-in for this, Selwyn.
Reading through that, there's a couple there for the Kiwis, and the rest are all big wins by Australia. There's been some fantastic things. Now, the Kiwis, over this whole thing, and even in this big loss, the pundits have been looking at trying to salvage something positive out of it. They've focused in on Kane Williamson, key New Zealand batter. It's fantastic batter. It's of a style, perhaps, that has lost in some areas, with the fast-paced, even test game. And he notched up a century at the Gabba against Australia over the last weekend. And he is actually ranked at the moment as number 5 in the world rankings. Number 1 being Mr. de Villiers of South Africa, of course. And then number 2, Stephen Smith, Australia, at age 26. Fantastic result there. Number 3, Joe Root from England, age 24. Number 5, Hashim Mammal of South Africa again, and Kane Williams of New Zealand comes in at number 5. So Dave Warner is actually not in that top 5 at the moment.
Okay.
There you go with Test cricket. Is sometimes a very strange beast in its rankings, isn't it?
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Well, as we've said before, may the best team win.
Yeah.
Come the second test.
Yeah.
For the WACA.
Look, with hand on heart and humble pie in the fridge, Peter, Australia was certainly the best team on that pitch, in the first innings. Now, let's see how we can all do it, the WACA, and be a fantastic display of down under cricket.
Indeed. All right, we'll talk more about it next week, no doubt. Selwyn, you have a great week, and we'll catch you then.
Okay.
All the best, Selwyn. Thanks, mate. Bye-bye. Selwyn Manning, editor of EveningReport.nz.
Find the perfect location for your retirement at Aveo Westport Retirement Village. Located in Queenstown, the gateway to the port, Aveo Westport offers lovely 2-bedroom units in a relaxed, low-maintenance, pet-friendly village and priced from just $250,000. Visit the village, view our stunning display units and see how great retirement living can be at Aveo Westport. Call 13 28 36 to book your private tour or visit aveo.com.au.
Why do so many South Australians select Selector Homes to build their transportable home? Walk into the grand at their display in Burton and you'll see. You won't just see, you'll feel. 9-foot ceilings, character-style finishes, quality. You'll feel at home. You'll also feel great knowing all the costs are up front with a fixed price. And the person who met you will be the same person who hands you your keys. Select your new home at selectorhomes.com.au.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, not this again.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just slop.